This week's video is sponsored by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform to build your perfect website. So in last week's video, I mentioned that I needed to make some changes to my camera gear because of a reoccurring shoulder injury. Well, since then, things have actually got quite a bit worse, to the point where I woke up about a week ago and I genuinely couldn't turn my head from left to right. It was basically locked facing forward and it was really painful, which for someone that likes looking around at amazing landscapes was slightly inconvenient to say the least. Thankfully though, things have improved since then, but it was definitely a bit of a wake-up call. Now, I'm still not in a position where I can comfortably carry a lot of weight for long periods of time, but having this problem has really reinforced the fact that I need to make some changes. So this has actually made me completely rethink my camera setup. And after asking for your advice last week, I've made some pretty big decisions about what I'm going to carry going forward. So a massive thank you to everyone who sent in their recommendations and your thoughts. It really is great to hear what you guys think. There were loads of comments from people who had been through similar situations to me, whether that was injuries or getting older or just realizing that carrying a huge amount of gear isn't always the best approach. And I think it's really helped me focus on kind of what I actually need rather than just what I thought I needed. Hopefully, if you're also trying to reduce the weight in your camera bag, some of these changes might give you a few ideas as well. Now, in case you're wondering why I've got 3 bags of the finest organic flour on my desk, well, I'm not about to start baking. It's hopefully to demonstrate how much weight I've actually shaved off my camera gear since your recommendations in the last video. So the first thing I've looked at is my tripod setup, and I think for me, for this next little while at least, I'm going to give handheld shooting a proper go. So many people have said to me, you know, the stabilization in this camera here is one of the biggest strengths. I really do want to kind of lean into that going forward. So usually I carry this small tripod mainly for video. Then there's this one here, which is my main landscape photography tripod. But usually it has this, which is my geared head on it, which is fantastic, but is quite weighty. But if I'm going to go handheld more often, realistically, I don't need to carry both of these. I'll probably just stick with the larger tripod because I think, well, having all of my video shots shot at sort of ankle height, it's probably not going to be the most cinematic or engaging content. So for now, I think I'll keep the tripod itself, but I'm going to, remove the geared head, the Sunway Photo geared head, and just go with the original f38 head that came with the tripod. So it's much, much lighter. This actually saves 1 kilogram, which is a pretty significant amount when you're carrying lots of things for several hours. And in case you're wondering, one of these bags is exactly 1 kilogram. So yeah, that's kind of a visual to what just discarding this and this will do to the weight that I'll be carrying. So let's put those down. So yeah, just sticking with that one for now, which it does feel a lot lighter. So the biggest change though is going to be simplifying my camera setup. So I'm going to give myself a strict 2-lens setup for the next little while, I think. Obviously I can adjust this depending on where I'm going and what I'm photographing. So the 50 to 200 f2.8 is going to be in the bag most of the time, which is mainly because it's such a versatile lens for the way that I shoot. I can use it for landscapes, wildlife, even macro close-up work, which is also something I really enjoy. For seascapes, I'm probably going to get the 8 to 25 f4 Pro lens, and for woodland photography, I'll probably stick with the 12 to 40 f2.8. Although I am considering the 12 to 45 f4 version, which is 130 grams lighter and bridges the gap a little better towards the 50 to 200. It's not a huge weight saving, but when you start making lots of small changes, they kind of all add up, don't they? And actually having a smaller, more compact camera system is what's allowed me to make one of the biggest weight saving changes, which we'll come on to shortly. Now, I did have quite a few people get in touch and say they weren't quite sure why I'd chosen a micro four thirds system over something like full frame. And do you know what? I completely understand that, because when you start comparing individual cameras and lenses, the difference isn't always as obvious as people might expect. But the reason that I've gone down this route is mainly because I want to shoot kind of landscapes mainly, but with some wildlife photography mixed in with it. You know, I think those two styles work really well together, and I love the freedom of just being able to head out and photograph whatever I come across. And this is where I think the OM1 Mark II really makes sense for me. It's kind of really capable for wildlife, and paired with this lens, which gives me equivalent of 100 to 400 on a full frame equivalent focal range, it fits kind of exactly how I like to shoot for both genres. Now, before we continue, I want to quickly thank Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. So if you're looking to create a website for your photography, whether that's to showcase your portfolio, sell prints, share your work, or even just somewhere that people can easily find all of your photography in one place, Squarespace makes the whole process really straightforward. One of the things I like about it is that you don't need to be a web designer to create something that looks professional, because there's loads of really nice templates. Everything is really just super easy to customize as well, and it's a great option if you want to spend more time making photographs and less time trying to figure out complicated website builders. It's also great for selling your work too, as Squarespace takes care of payments and orders for you, which again keeps things super simple. If you'd like to give it a try for yourself, head over to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch your website, go to squarespace.com/IanWorth to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thanks again to Squarespace for supporting this channel. So one of the biggest challenges, I think, when comparing camera systems is deciding what matters most to you. Because what I see quite a bit in the comments is people will say, oh, why would you get a Micro Four Thirds camera? Actually, this camera is lighter, or this lens is lighter. It's the full frame version is lighter than Micro Four Thirds version. It doesn't make sense. And I think the real issue is you need to compare systems or lenses or bodies with the things that are most important to you. I don't think there's really a perfect system for everybody. It's a very personal thing, I think. If I decided to go full frame, I probably would have gone with Nikon, because I shot with Nikon for over a decade in the past, and I genuinely love the cameras and their lenses. The setup I would have probably chosen would have been the Nikon Z8 paired with the 24-70 f4, and most importantly, and this is really important, the Nikon 100 to 400 f4.5 to f5.6 VR lens. And this lens is really the important comparison, because when people compare Micro Four Thirds and full frame, especially for wildlife, it's not just about megapixels, it's about depth of field and light gathering capabilities of the two systems. So the OM50-200, which we've got here, gives a similar equivalent focal length to the Nikon lens, but the f2.8 aperture gives me 2 stops more light while maintaining the same depth of field at f5.6. Those extra stops help balance out the full frame advantages when it comes to ISO performance. So realistically, these two lenses mounted on those two bodies are pretty close in comparison in terms of light gathering and depth of field. Where they really differ is size and weight. The Nikon setup is around 530 grams heavier and takes up roughly 1.24 litres more space. That works out at around 23% increase in weight and about 54% increase in volume. The trade-off is that the Nikon gives you a high resolution sensor and around an extra 1.5 stops of dynamic range. But for me, the size and the weight savings were more important than the resolution and dynamic range. And this actually became even more obvious when I started looking at camera bags. And by the way, 530 grams is just over half a bag of flour, just to give you a visual. The next rabbit hole I went down was camera bags, and this is something quite a few of you mentioned in the comments. And I honestly hadn't really thought about how much weight the bag itself contributes to the overall load, which looking back, I guess seems slightly obvious, doesn't it? But when you're, I guess, fit and injury free, it's not something you really think about that much, is it? Anyway, the bag I've used for years is this, the 40 litre Creative Summit Tenzing, which weighs 2.7 kilograms, which is, flipping heck, not far off 3 bags of organic marriages, flour, only the finest, by the way. Yeah, so quite a weighty pack. Now, it's a fantastic bag. It's got loads of storage, really comfortable, but it's definitely on the heavy side. And looking at it now, I think it's probably designed for larger full frame setups. My OM1 almost disappears completely inside of it. I also tried this smaller bag here, which is the 20 litre PGY Tech. I think it's called the One Go 2. But the problem with this bag is it doesn't have a waist strap. So all of the weight is on your shoulders. And since I've got a shoulder injury, it's probably contributing to some of the discomfort that I'm experiencing. Now, this bag also weighs 1.4 kilograms, which is, yeah, 1.5 bags of flour, roughly speaking. So it still weighs quite a bit. Sorry if the flour thing is not working out. I just thought it might be a way of creating like a visual to how much some of this stuff actually weighs. Yeah, let me know in the comments if it kind of gets my point across in some way. Anyway, the solution I've ended up with, which was mainly thanks to so many recommendations from you, is the Think Tank. Where are we? There we go. I'm struggling to look around that way, but is the Think Tank, what's it called? The Backlight Sprint, which weighs only 1 kilogram, which is, yeah, one of these bags of flour. So it's really lightweight. The downside to it is it's only 15 litres. So I can just about get all of my equipment in here. I can get my rain jacket in the front, water bottle, a tripod, and my video kit, plus all of this OM kit in here as well. And it's got a waist strap as well, which takes that weight off of the shoulders. So that's something that's going to be super helpful. Also, you can take your shoulder straps off, let the bag sit that way on your hip, open the back door here and access your camera without taking the bag off, which for me is actually fantastic because it means I can swap lenses without putting the bag down in, say, wet mud or wet sand or something like that if I'm at the coast. And yeah, when the camera's out the bag, it really doesn't weigh anything. It's, yeah, really cool. So a massive thank you to everybody that recommended this bag. I actually got this on a bit of a special deal as well on Amazon. I think it was reduced by about £40. So I'll leave the link for it in the description if you fancy checking it out. But yeah, so far so good. And hopefully that's going to allow me to get out and walk further with this injury. Hopefully I can get rid of this injury very, very soon. So I think, you know, being able to use a bag such as that is really where this system comes into play, because I don't think I would have gotten a full frame setup that's got, say, 1.3 litres more volume in that pack. I think I would probably need to go for a 20 or 25 litre pack to get all of that in. So the size of your equipment really affects everything else around it, doesn't it, as well? And the bag is, yeah, a massive difference. I've actually saved 1.7 kilograms over this, which is actually a heck of a lot of weight when you think about it. Now, this isn't me saying micro 4/3 is better than full frame or anything like that. Generally, this is all about what's right for me currently, for my situation. And my situation is probably going to be different to yours. And both systems are, you know, fantastic. I think, you know, they serve different purposes. And I'm definitely not camera bashing anyway. You know, I've shot Nikon for many years. They're fantastic cameras. And yeah, just, yeah, are a joy to use as well. So yeah, this isn't me sort of saying one thing is better than the other. It's basically just saying what's right for me. And if you're having similar problems to me with maybe fitness or, yeah, injuries or something like that, then maybe some of these considerations might help you as well. So that's where I'm at currently. And by leaving this massive bag behind and the, where are we, the geared tripod head and that smaller tripod as well, I'm actually saving 3.5 kilos. I know this is only 3, but 3.5 kilos or 3.5 bags of flour. So yeah, it's considerable weight saving, isn't it? And yeah, I think it's going to make a massive difference. I'm sure this setup will continue to evolve because that's just, I guess, part of photography, isn't it? We're always changing the way we shoot, the places we go, and what we enjoy photographing, aren't we? So yeah, things are always evolving. I might even look into a lighter tripod setup as well for video in the future, and that maybe shave off another ½ kilogram. But for now, I think this feels like a really nice compromise. It gives me the flexibility to photograph landscapes and wildlife, a little bit of macro as well if I want to, without feeling like I'm carrying loads of weight. I'd love to know what you think though. Do you think I've made the right decision, or would you have gone for something completely different or in a different direction? Please do let me know down in the comments, because I'd genuinely be interested to hear your thoughts as always. And as always, there's loads of photography resources down in the video description, including my ebooks, photography tours, and all the gear I use in these videos. So thanks so much for watching. And if you did enjoy this video, there's another one up here that I think you'll enjoy as well, where I'm actually out in the field using this equipment. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you again next week, and hopefully we'll be back out shooting some landscapes.